All
Yo,
right.
what's going on, people?
What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome
Yes,
back
sir.
to another live FML podcast. We back. We back, man. Y'all already know how we started off down there in the comment section. Put down how y'all doing. Any positive, good news, man. We starting off with on a positive tip for the week. Pause if necessary on that one.
Lord,
How
don't
how
start. Don't
how was
start.
that?
Don't
How was
start
that one pause? You good on that one, man? I ain't
on
seen
the
no pause
tip.
on that. You good? You good on
Just in
that one?
case. I'm just trying to make sure we
I feel
start
you.
off on the right foot.
You did
But
good, but I ain't see one on that one, but you did good though. You did
yeah,
good.
just in case,
Yeah,
just in case.
good.
But you know, man, we back with another live. Oh, we got the boy Keith in the building. What's good, Keith? The honorary fourth member.
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
Yes,
Man,
sir.
doing good, man. So, you know, like we said, man, down in the comment section, start off any positive, good news y'all got, man. Let us know about it, man. And you know, we got the videos for y'all. We got the reactions.
Yeah.
We got some. I think y'all gonna like where we going this week. We got some pretty dope stuff for y'all. So you already know G, our behind the scenes guy. He getting the videos and everything loaded up. But while he doing that, man, how y'all been doing? What's good, Trey, Keith, G? What's going on?
It's Leo season.
Man, life is good, man. You know, waking up every day, staying focused, getting to this money, staying true, staying on purpose, man. You know how it go.
Already. Who said Leo season? Hey,
Right.
hey, look, next week we got a couple of cast members birthdays coming up next week, man. So make sure everybody down there that's watching, man, y'all say happy birthday to Keith, happy birthday to Trey. They got their birthdays next week, man. So
Yes, sir.
y'all make sure y'all show them love. What y'all got planned for y'all birthdays?
Before we go into that, I want to shout out Kwan. It's his birthday
Oh
today. Happy
yeah,
birthday, Kwan. He was a feature on the podcast. Y'all go check out the episode about networking and all that.
Yeah, shout out to Utley too. You know, he a July
Mhm.
Leo. He a July Leo, but he's still a Leo. So his birthday was a
Big
couple
O.
weeks ago. So
Man, we got big Leo season, man. It's so many
Mhm.
Leos around here, yo. And
It
you already
is.
know. So you know what was happening during the wintertime then.
It's the
You already
best
know
time.
what
right
was
around
going on.
Thanksgiving. Right
Yeah.
around Thanksgiving.
But what y'all got? What y'all doing for y'all birthdays, man? What y'all got planned?
I'm going to Baltimore Harbor for the weekend. You know.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh,
Is that this weekend?
Yeah, this weekend. This weekend. Yeah.
you gonna be staying
Yeah.
out of trouble, Keith? You gonna try to
Yeah.
stay out of trouble up there?
Yeah. I'm on the straight and narrow now, man. I ain't getting in no trouble, man.
Yeah, I know that's right. I know that's right. Shout out to April for shouting out Kawan's birthday, man. Once again, happy
Yeah,
birthday to Kawan. Man, much love to him, man. I
my
tried to
love.
call Kawan a little bit earlier, man. And he working on his birthday, man. He focused right now. He doing his thing.
Yeah, working in
He's a
the
good
street.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they ain't doing that no more. A good one.
Yeah. What you got, Trey? What you got for your birthday?
Oh man, one wifey taking me to Atlanta for the first time.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Trying to get her in Magic City, but she like, nah, we ain't
Hey,
doing
you gotta
that.
convince her. You gotta convince her, bro. You
Yeah.
got to. Got to.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Hey,
all
tell her
love.
the wings good down there. The wings good. You know.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Feel me?
Hey, get that Lou Will
What's
lemon
good,
pepper. I'm
Bozo?
telling
Uh, and look, that's your ear right there, Trey. Hey, like they got the best wings in town.
In the city, we need to go check it out. You know what I'm saying?
You know? Shout out to Mr. Bosher.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Shout out to him, man. What's good? What's good?
Yeah, bro, I've been in movies and all that, man. I think he was in a movie that was on Hulu.
Oh, for real?
I think he was. You're gonna have to come on and tell the people what you've been into,
Yeah.
Mr.
Put it down
Boss.
in the comment section, man. Put it down in the comment section. We gotta go check you out then.
Yeah.
So
I've
I've
been
been
starting them Tubi movies and shit. You know what I'm saying?
you've been watching the Tubi movies.
Hey, they be
Yes.
getting me, bro. They be getting me, bro.
Yes.
They addicted, bro.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I
Bro, you would
seen.
like them, Paul. They all based in Detroit. Like most of them based out of Detroit. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got buffs on and shit. Like, oh, we know where they at. You know.
Hey, hey, you know what's funny, man? They probably if it's a gangster movie, yeah.
They be wild, bro. It'd be some gangster shit, but it'd be random as hell. Like,
Yeah, look, hey, those are documentaries about Detroit. Those ain't movies. Those documentaries, man. Shoot. But yeah, man, we got G. He's still getting the videos and everything up and loaded, man. How y'all week been going?
Man, week been interesting. Everything just been interesting, bro. It's been mindset for me, and with the right mindset, I've been seeing like I just been continuously challenging myself. I've been continuously challenging myself, and with the challenges comes challenges, but I've been prevailing. So it's been interesting. And I read like 5 books in the last 2 weeks. It's just all good, man.
You in the song right now?
Yeah, right now. We rolling, you feel me?
Yeah.
That's why I ain't had no nap. I was like, I know I should have, but I still, even though I ain't go to work, I still had work to do. So, and things is making this headway. Shout out to Shine.
Shout out to Shine, man. Y'all make sure y'all go get some of that, man.
Get that Shine, get your Shine on. You know
get
what I'm
that
saying?
Shane Cocoa. I recommend the Shane Cocoa. I just got revitalized. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? That joint is. I had a coworker. He was like, "Man, my back so it feels like it's cracking. It's on fire. I'm itching. I'm going to the dermatologist." I said, "Shit, slap this Shine on.
Get your Shine on.
You know what I mean? Get your Shine on. You don't need to do all that. I got you. You feel me? I am the dermatologist. Holla at me."
That sound like the second commercial. You know what I'm
saying? Exactly. Yeah. Hey, but look, I think G got you got the video up and ready, G.
Yeah, man. We gonna dip straight into the fitness, the health, man. We got a topic that I've been ripping and raving about on what I teach my clients and what they need to get more aware. And it mostly comes down to the women. I mean, it partly comes down to the men because I feel like most men need to start being more the head and showing some more, direction. But it comes on to the women. It's not a bashing thing. It's just something I think that we should get aware of so we can, have more healthy babies out here.
Okay. Got you. All right, go ahead and roll it. Let's see what we got.
Yes, sir.
Child comes out with autism. It develops around 2 and the age 3. And when you start to think about the amount of toxicity they're getting and the type of foods they're getting, I mean, it starts with baby formula because most people unfortunately aren't breastfeeding anymore. The breast milk enforces their immune system. So if nobody's breastfeeding and then you're feeding your baby formula for the first year that isn't natural, and then they go straight into processed food, you got to understand how damaging that is for a 2 to 3 year period. For an adult like us, it's different when we're eating that. We have developed detoxification organs. We have a developed immune system, fully developed brain. But when you're eating this before your brain has even developed, your gut has fully developed, your immune system is fully developed, it's like setting all your wealth out on the porch. So you're bound to lose something. The unfortunate thing is the way we think about food in box, cans, jars, bags, that's not food, but we've been duped into thinking that it is food.
All right, fellas. Yo, who wanna go first? Who wanna go first on this topic right here, man?
Well, you gotta introduce it.
Yeah, my fault, fellas. Yeah, as far as fitness, I believe everything starts with actually starts with the parents. I think it starts number one with the parents. When I do my questionnaire, I usually almost kind of like when you go to a doctor. Y'all ever hear when y'all go to the doctor will ask you certain things like, did your father have hypertension? Did your mother have this? Did they have heart attack in their diabetes in their family? Y'all ever understand they ask those reasons not because it's in your bloodstream or it may be hereditary. It actually asks you because of what you've been taught. And what do you have the same type of, I would say, tendencies as your parents did or your grandparents, anybody in your family? Because what you're taught is what most likely, not all the time, of course, we all change, but most time that's what we're going to do because, we're taught by our parents. If they do it, I mean, most likely we're going to do it. So when it comes to the discussion of all these, you look at all these illnesses and cancers and autisms and ADHD, all that stuff. this is my hypothesis, and I think the main part of why we getting certain type of diseases, and this one that we talking about with autism, is what we're putting into our bodies. So that makes a lot of sense. Where one of the reasons why women got those things sitting on their chest, the wonderful things. What are they called? They wonderful.
Movies?
Movies?
The breast
Titties,
is
Yeah, them things. Yeah. I think that's one of the main reasons why God be able to give them to us. So they when they have a baby, they make the milk.
the
So I think we
nurturer.
get our first nutrients from the woman. I mean, the nurture. Yeah, the nurture. That's our first food that we're supposed to get is the milk. And if we skip out on the first thing that we're supposed to get, and they getting processed stuff, as he talked about with like the formula and all that's made in the lab. I mean, I don't think there's always repercussions. There's always repercussions of something that happens. Always a cause and effect. So it may have some good stuff in it, of course, because some things have been they're making on it. But I think they're a provider for us to get that natural milk. So I think it does make sense to see that doctor said that sometimes autism is caused by some of that formula as we are as kids. So the question is, do parents? I would say going to autism, but do parents cause us to have unnatural or how can I phrase that? Do parents have, sorry not being prepared, you guys. Do parents have a responsibility for us when it comes to how we treat ourselves health-wise as we grow up? And are they sometimes the people that cause us to have certain type of diseases as we grow to be adults?
Well, I guess as the resident parent on the cast, especially as a child, absolutely, we do instill habits in our children and things like that. I do want to say, I follow, I watch a couple of things with the guy that we put up on the video, and I follow a lot of stuff, man. He's very interesting guy, and I like listening to some of the stuff he's saying. I do know when your child is in the womb or whatever, they have some type of way. I can't remember how, but they say it's a chance. They could determine chances of your child being born with autism. And the reason I know is my brother, and this is a thing of following through with God's plan. My brother, when he was born, he was supposed to be born with like Down syndrome, and he ended up coming out, and he was fine. So it's no way to, just from me and from my experiences, it's hard to really gauge that until, like you say, the child comes out, and then you see certain traits and things like that. But to go back to the point of the food, I've been saying this for the longest time. We have a big issue with our food because we always put so many preservatives. We got all these different chemicals and stuff like that that's in our food, and we don't know how this is affecting our bodies, our minds, things like that. And so even when it comes down to like our so-called fresh fruits and fresh vegetables and things like that, if you don't grow it yourself, you don't know what's going on with the food and what they're doing to try to make it last longer and things like that. And I don't think it's a coincidence, as we do more processed foods, we get more issues with mental health. We get more physical issues and things like that, along with stresses put on us by society. So I think the main cause is the fruits and the medications, and then you add on societal pressures and things like that. Man, all of us got something going on with us. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not eating right, and then we're not protecting our mindset, our mental health, and everything, man. So I think as a parent, to go back to the point of the habits, it's our jobs to try to instill healthy habits with our kids so it don't become as hard. You don't have to go through a health challenge before you start making adjustments. You don't go through, you know what I'm saying, all these different things that you could possibly go through. I got a friend of mine, his kids then grew up vegan. They whole life, that's all they know. I ain't heard them get sick. I ain't never heard about them going to the doctor. And I know this guy for about 7 years now. I ain't never heard no health issues with his kids. So it's stuff like that where I be like, you know what? Food definitely do play a big factor with everything that's going on with us. I can't really speak too much into the, the like the autism and things like that. But I
Mhm.
wouldn't be surprised if it do. I absolutely would not be surprised.
Autism to me is still a new thing. I stopped paying attention to all of the branded mental disorders because most mental things, even if there are certain factors, it's never promoted that you can have control over it by doing these types of things, taking control of your diet, taking control of what you digest mentally, and taking control of you. You know what I'm saying? What you focus on and what you want. Like everything could be developed. We've seen too many stories or heard too many stories where somebody was diagnosed with something. Not to discredit anybody with a degree that tells you one thing or another is just it's not always 100% accurate. Everything is a best guess. You know what I mean? So uh, when people get these titles, a lot of people use titles to as an excuse. You know what I'm saying? Not to excuse anybody who may be under any of these types of conditions. Not debating whether or not they're real. It's just what type of effect does it have on your life? And then when we're talking about the children getting the children getting the nutrients in the developmental phase from the mother in the womb. You know what I'm saying? So it's before formulas and powders and stuff. We need to be focusing on making sure that pregnant woman is getting all of what she needs for this child to come out healthy. You know what I'm saying? Prior to uh we talking about a healthy mentality because them nerves, all of that inner working is still going to play on the development of the child. So you need to make sure that this woman is safe, secure, protected, healthy, happy in a sense, because of course you are in control of your happiness. But she needs to know that she is welcomed and wanted, and all of that, all of the above, in order for the well-being of the child in the developmental phase before it even comes out. All right, and then when this needs to be communicated as too is how we're going to raise the child. A lot of people don't discuss whether or not it's going to be breastfeeding. Yes, it's going to be painful at times. I heard that. Of course, I'm not a woman. I don't have mammograms, so of course it's going to be painful at times. And it's easy for us to be like, well, the ones who are not going to endure that type of pain to be like, well, yeah, you're gonna breastfeed the child because that's the best thing for her. But it does need to be discussed. I don't know anybody that did any planned parenting and had like these types of discussions prior to actually lay out the plan. We keep on talking about man with a plan. You fail to plan to fail, but these types of plans don't ever come into consideration. So
Me and my ex did. We talked about it.
that's what's up.
Yeah, we
That's
talked
what's
about
up. All right, so I know one person. Um,
it.
but that's where I automatically go to it. And then, yes, it is what you put in your body. Food is medicine. We're not. This is one of the things that I've been challenging myself on is not being so much of a consumer. You don't have to be a consumer of all things and all goods. And when it's like that, and I know a lot of y'all are minimalists, but when it's like that, you value what you do have more and you value what you're going for more. You have more value and more gratitude when you're not a high consumer of everything. So, what you put in your food is medicine, and we've talked about it before when it comes to even growing food. When you go to get certain seeds, they gotta meet the requirements of whoever. For you can't grow everything by yourself. It's illegal to you know stock water and stuff like that. Like it's a reason, bro. It is for this type of control and stuff like that, man. Like it it's too well known for me. So yeah, man, you do got to take control of it. Learn a little bit of farming. I've been seeing it. I had a discussion with Jamaican guy. One of my neighbors is a Jamaican, and he went back to his hometown And he said before he went, he was like, he's so excited to go home. I said, what you most excited about? He said, you don't have to worry about hunger there because they have so many fruit trees, so many vegetables, so many places where so much of this natural stuff, all of this is grown. So you can't complain about hunger. I know a lot of us here, it's happened. I've had this experience where, you know, a homeless guy got to sign up, you know, give me some money. I'm like, all right, well, I don't got that, but here go some food. I don't want that shit. You know what I'm saying? So you're not actually hungry then. You know what I mean? If you really hungry, you be ready to eat whatever is in front of you. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever you can find. If you're really hungry, you're not actually hungry. You know what I'm saying? Something of that line. So going back to the consumer mentality, a lot of it is just gluttonous. So yeah, the food is medicine and it should be treated properly and well. Like I cook majority of what I eat, and what I don't eat, I mean what I don't cook, I still prefer it to be a cooked meal. I don't really like, I mean, I'll eat fast food, don't get me wrong, but that's like at the bottom of my list when it comes to what I think about food. I'm thinking about something well cooked and seasoned. You know, man.
Salt and pepper is not. It's not just the only seasoning you need to eat. Wait, what you got, Keith?
I'm just gonna speak to maybe the first part of G's question. I don't really know too much about, autism and, what's causing what. I do believe food, the way we American produce our food now, I really do believe there's hella side effects. Like, but we ain't no, there are no tests to prove that, or, like they were saying, there's no science to prove it. But I mean, it's probably who. I'm coming out and say it. They don't want the science to prove it. They ain't even, they're not even looking into that. But I will speak into like the role of the parents. At work we have a saying that, like, you know about primacy is the word. Like, what you learn first sticks with you. So I definitely think, like, us as future parents and parents, like, we could, lead by example, or you know do better for ourselves first. So when we do have kids, if we're healthy, more than likely our kids are going to be, healthy as they can be. And I think there is something to the to what Trey was saying. You talk about your Jamaican. I was talking to my boy from Haiti. He's a driver, and he talks about how, they don't need to eat 3 meals a day. Just 3 meals a day is some American, something we taught. We don't need to eat. We really have food addiction. Like, our body just
Yep.
think we need to eat 3 times a day because we come out saying we need to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But he was saying on the island, yeah, they just rich on fruits, and it's like they don't waste food. It's like if you cook the food, that's what you're eating. If you don't finish that food, you know, it's probably going to be thrown to waste. But more than likely, you go eat everything that's put on your plate. And it's probably just to be one time a day. You might eat fruits throughout the day, and then at night they'll eat like one cooked meal, like goat or whatever. But I definitely think we as future parents and, current parents with young children, we could just practice better habits ourselves, and our kids will carry that into their lives and live healthier lives for that. Um, what you were speaking about, somebody that started their kids vegan, Paul. I did
Yeah.
see, it was a clip on YouTube or something where I saw where the guy started his kids on vegan. They put Chick-fil-A in front of the kids, and the kids was just appalled. Like,
Mhm.
they would not take the waffle fries. It's Chick-fil-A now. You put
Yeah.
that pickled chicken in front of somebody, you ain't gonna resist that. But they were just like, no. One kid threw up at the
Yeah.
sight of Chick-fil-A, man. I thought that was amazing. But me myself, I'm trying to teach myself to, like, eat less or eat more, eat better stuff, eat real
Yeah,
food. But
yeah,
it's hard, especially like this year that I started lifting weights and stuff. I'm hungry. I feel hungry all the time, man. Like,
Mhm.
you don't want to stop eating, especially when you're burning all those calories. But I'm trying, man. But yeah, primacy.
uh,
Sorry, comments distracted me.
Yeah, reading the comment, Miss April says that autism is more of a social disability than anything, meaning struggles with social cues, emotional regulation, etc. Early intervention can address all of that. What is the where do you intervene? I don't think it's for me mentality and mindset. I don't think it's an interventional thing. It's interventional after it's already been damaged. I think it is how you start and how you go about, and it is taught. Um, so a lot of times when I see people with, let's say, ADHD or autism or something, we used to just have different labels for it. You just fidgety, or there's Ritalin and stuff like that. It was always something else. For me, it was just I would just keep on going back to the self control, man. And if it's something that you are out of control or don't feel like you have as much control, instead of telling yourself what you can't, like, I can't talk, or I'm not good in social settings and stuff like that. Instead of just saying that and submitting to it, you can acknowledge that and develop in that area. Because I was a mumble speaker, you know what I'm saying? I was a mumble speaker. I was the bashful, shy kid. I was quiet. I really listened to the don't speak until you're spoken to, and the kids don't talk when adults are around. Don't be in grown folk business. So I was quiet and put in front of a TV a lot of times. Um, and then I started going outside more. Like, I took advantage of that early. Like, I love it. Like I said, I love video games. Like I said, I used to be able to just sit in front of the TV, play games all day, and then I was like, "Well, I don't wanna be like that." Like, yeah, cool, but I gotta I gotta I gotta balance, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel great when I go outside. I see the other kids playing, and that's what I think the intervention used to come into, is in the societal part, because it used to be not a pressure, but it used to be more fun and exciting to say go outside. Like, it used to be a privilege to go outside. I can't go outside till the chores. I can't go outside until the
Yeah,
home. I can't. I got to go home first, do what I need to, then I could go outside. It used to be a privilege, a reward to go outside. And when you go outside, there's more natural things. There's woods and creeks and lakes. You got the bikes, scooters, and yes, they still got the scooters around, especially electric ones. I got stories, but it used to be so much more. You had the yo-yos. We used to do like flipping contests, the dirty matches, all that. It was a reason, you know what I'm saying? Like, we used to do so much stuff outside that was simple things, but it was wonderful, and that's what made the childhood magical. So it was more of a draw, more of a pull for me to be in a social setting. And now it's so easy to be isolated and condensed in self, um and to be by yourself. And yeah, social media is great, but you're not going to get all of the benefits from just sitting in front of a screen. You have to be able to get outside, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of the because autism is more of a social disability, uh, all of that could be worked on.
and I want to say, April, if you know any male therapists who got an expertise in autism, tell them come on. 'Cause, to help answer some of the questions, to educate people a little bit more on that
Right.
area, and answer some of some of the questions that we might have as well too. We always open for guests that want to come on and educate and give us, because like we said, we not experts in that
Yeah,
field, but most of this
but
is
I
just from
think,
our own experiences and the things that we've seen and witnessed as well.
man, true. But y'all can hear me. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, my connection is acting all a little crazy, man. I apologize, everybody. I think there's a fine line that we've uncrossed now, that we overdone as far as somebody that's a professional in common sense.
Hmm.
Does
I,
that make sense?
it does. I always tell people,
Elaborate a little bit on that, G.
uh,
Um,
I get what he's saying.
it's like I don't need a doctor to tell me that if it's that I just randomly, if I get hit by a car, would I break my limbs or something? I mean, it's common sense that I would hurt myself if I would ran into a car. I mean, if we put in some kind of substance that's just made in a lab and we're not doing the correct thing that's been done for thousands of years, and it's something that's new, it's not shocking to me that our body is like, what the hell is this?
We're not even birthing naturally. Like, you're not supposed
Like,
to be laying on
so
your back to birth a child. That is the incorrect and improper way to bring a child into the world.
For real.
yeah,
This what
but nobody's talking about birth and child. I'm talking about eating and autism.
we talking about. We talk about the
Oh, you
development
got
of a
it.
child, bro,
Oh, you
into a
got it.
fully functioning adult. Go ahead.
I think I could
Oh, no,
simplify.
good. No, no,
I think
go
I
ahead.
could simplify what G trying to say. It's like, all right, if I say I'm a birthing mother and I smoke crack, right? It's, there's a higher probability that my child could come out a crackhead. So what not a crackhead, but a crack baby. Like, my bad, not a crackhead, but definitely a crack. But what's to say that, if I'm eating fast food every day and then I birth a child, that couldn't cause some problems within the child? You know what I'm saying? I think that's what G trying to get at. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with that. I totally agree with that. But the thing is, if everybody eating fast food, why some kids get autism, some get this, some get that, some get that, it's such a wide variety. If we can sit and talk to people that have what they say, that study in their arena, I ain't saying we gotta agree with them, but they can give us more knowledge into how to connect these links on why certain people get this, certain people get that,
Yeah.
certain people get that.
Mind you, I'm not speaking specifically on autism.
Or how they diagnose how somebody gets this. You know what I'm saying? Like, to give us more information about, well, how do y'all diagnose this, and then how do you diagnose this and this? You know what I'm
And
saying?
just
Like, what's your rating? How do you tell?
who got what?
Well, yeah,
And
the
and
level is more
and,
so.
and just
The
to
level is
clarify,
more so like, because you got the spectrum now, and so
yeah,
now they're
because
saying, yo, you might be on this level of the spectrum, but you ain't this. How do you characterize that? And they might say, yo, it's a test, but what if somebody just had a bad day taking the test? They was trying to rush through it. How do you accurately demonstrate the test? You know what I'm saying? That's why I would like to speak to a professional. It's like, yo, how do y'all determine these things? And do y'all take other factors into consideration as well too? So that's why I would be interested in talking to somebody about something like that to figure out, like, yo, like, how do y'all come up with these scales and make these diagnoses?
And just to clarify, I wasn't cutting you off, G. I was just piggybacking on the fact that we're away from a lot of the natural things that you said you spoke on. Natural. I had just jumped in on it. Like, we don't even birth naturally no more. You know what I'm saying? Talk about thousands of years that we do things correctly. We do need to get back to those things. So I just wanted to clarify. I wasn't going against you. I was just piggybacking.
Oh, I appreciate it. Oh yeah, I didn't think of it that way. You're right.
How they supposed to be birthing? I'm just curious now.
It's more of a crouch position.
Mm-hmm.
So they're supposed to be coming down. So they're supposed to be like more of in a crouch position, like you're sitting.
Or like they be doing it in the movies when they, giving birth under extreme circumstances, like a scary movie or something.
Yeah.
I mean, you let gravity work for you instead of working against gravity.
Right. Makes sense, right?
I mean, if they Kegels on point, they can push that shit up. You know what I'm saying?
We got Kegels too.
Yeah, I know. I do.
Male Kegels? What?
Yeah, bro. Just think of your anatomy. It makes sense, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Male Kegels. I got you.
Yeah.
Hey, but look, hey, G, real quick. Hey, do you think your connection good to go get the next video and everything loaded up?
Yeah, am I moving a little crazy?
Yeah, you're a little slow right now. Yeah.
You can come to the middle of the camera a little more too.
I think that's why what's going on, man. What's the name? We got some company came into town and they playing PS5 like it's a tournament in this junk. So they on the internet like mud.
Hey, the internet getting overworked right now.
It is, man, but it's all good, man. It's kids, so they, man, let them have fun, man.
Yeah. All right. So
That's
G
So
G about to get ready to load up the next video, but y'all got any like last thoughts
while we
on this
waiting
video?
on it, we are putting we do want more guests to come on. If you are expertise, a male, we want you to come on, share your expertise in your area. This is a platform for men to speak on hot topics and things that we need to discuss to be better men in the society. So please feel free to come on. We can share the link. Anybody in the comments, anybody viewing, watching, want to come on and tap into the discussion, you're welcome to come on as well. It's open for all you fellas. And another thing that I do now is I carry fruit with me as I walk around on a daily. So if I do see a kid or anybody really who's like they're hungry or something, here's a piece of fruit. Here's some fruit. Like, I don't care if it's like prepped strawberries or something. Like, yo, that looks nice. Yes, eat it. I want you to have it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want you to feel better. I want you to have something, because fruit is like a gem,
Yeah.
in plain sight. You know what I mean? Like, I know too many people that start their day off with coffee, and you putting all this creamer and stuff, going back to the milk. It's the milk. Milk literally causes congestion, and we're the only mammals that ingest any milk from different animals. So yeah, man.
Thanks.
We definitely need more balance in our nutrition.
Very true. Very true.
All right. So look,
Hey,
we
man,
got the next video. I already see where it's going. So hey, if y'all ready, we'll go ahead and go into the next video.
Yeah. And for those that's
oh, man.
that's commenting, man, we're getting to a point where we're getting a lot of comments. So in the future, it's not anybody, silencing you, because that's not what we do on this podcast. It's just that it's so many up there we can't fit all of them at the same time. That's just how it is. So I'm not silencing nobody. We want to hear everybody, and I obviously only put on so many at a time, because we ain't blocking the people that's on the podcast all day. So just letting y'all know that, all right? Oh, and for this video, it's gonna have a little music in the back. Fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use. So don't go put no copyright on our videos. Fair use, fair use.
Everybody done seen it. So.
Several days removed from a brutal dockside brawl in Montgomery, Alabama, where this now viral video shows a group of white men attacking a single black boat captain, assault charges have been filed against 3 of the alleged aggressors.
Only 3?
When it initially took place, the police department didn't have the luxury of the videos that we all have seen now. Now that we have more information, again, more charges are pending.
The videos certainly paint a vivid picture. After the initial altercation, members of the crew and community jumping in to defend the riverboat's co-captain, Damian Pickett. As you can see from this new footage, the fight quickly escalates. At one point, a man even swinging a folding chair. In police custody this morning, Richard Roberts, 2 other men, Alan Todd and Zachary Shipman, are expected to turn themselves in, all of them facing misdemeanor assault charges. None of the men have pleaded in the case yet, and NBC News has not been able to reach them for comment.
It definitely should never have even gotten physical to begin with.
For witnesses who watched from a riverboat that was attempting to dock, like Leslie Mae Horter, the 45 minutes police say the captain spent asking the pontoon owners to move their boat over a PA system was clearly in vain.
Could you hear what these guys were shouting back?
No, I could not hear from
you heard
where,
that shit.
in my perspective, what they were shouting back. The attitude that they exude was the fact that you're not going to tell us what to do. We were here first.
But there's no doubt they were notified. They knew they were being asked.
Oh, they had ample opportunity to move the boat.
When asked about possible use of racial epithets or names, the police chief said the evidence they have does not currently meet the FBI standard for a hate crime.
All right, so
There was a lot of, I've seen finger gestures and comments and innuendos made. Working with The local FBI, we did examine if there was enough to.
That boy with the chair, legend more than any WWE wrestler, anything. Like he gave so many people, like content creators. He gave so many content creators, ammo. Like I've seen so many chair memes and shit. It's ridiculous,
Man, memes are crazy. So,
Yeah.
question is, what are your thoughts on the battle? I call it the race battle, the beatdown in Montgomery, Alabama. What are y'all thoughts on that situation that happened maybe a couple of days ago?
August 5th, Cinco de Negro.
Yeah. Leo season, man. It's hot out
Leo
there.
season, bro. That was my sister's birthday. Lit. Happy birthday, sis. God damn. There's a lot of us, ain't it?
Yeah, we out here.
Hey, happy birthday to all the Leos, yeah. Happy birthday to all the Leos.
Can't say it enough, man. I don't know, man. It was a lot of it was comedy because like I said, so many content creators, took the chair and ran with it. Like it's people bench pressing chairs, people reenacting Malcolm X standing by the window with a chair. Oh man, they put the WWE sound bites behind the chair, man. It's been hilarious. But as far as the incident, man, it was senseless like that. And once again, a guy got attacked. A guy got attacked for doing his job, basically, based on what I understand about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you give these people 45 minutes. You know how short, how much little patience we have, especially when it comes to like race and whatnot as a whole in America. We feel like a white person like trying to disenfranchise us in any way. We're not gonna give them 45 minutes of a warning to move or do whatever to just to keep the peace. But they did, man. Like a whole boat waited for you for 45 minutes to move out the way so they can do their job. And I guess it was a ferry or something, but for you not to move and then attack the man just for him trying to enforce the rules of his job, like I think that was crazy. At first I was like, man, why are we celebrating this? It's just some bunch of ignorant shit, and you think, but when you think about the region of the United States where it occurred, it kind of like it doesn't surprise you for real.
It's not even a region, man. If you just looked at it, bro, it was obvious. So let me ask y'all, because we kind of have discussions off screen. Did y'all see Black Unity?
I mean, yeah,
I saw them looking after somebody, but to be honest, I didn't know they waited 45 minutes to book the docket. Yo, it might have been a chance they would have got their ass whooped just because they didn't move, even if they didn't beat homeboy up. Because I'm like, yo, you gonna have me sitting on a boat for 45 minutes because you don't want to move your boat? Like, yo, they might have caught it regardless. But especially once they start beating up on the old man and jumping them. I think that's what it was. If it was a one-on-one, maybe. But when y'all start jumping on that man and y'all made us wait 45 minutes, hey, the boat went crazy on them, y'all. The boat went crazy. So I do think that was a form of unity, supporting a brother. But to be honest, that stuff don't surprise me because I've been hearing about stuff like that at high schools. You know what I'm saying? Where black people outnumbered and everything, and some white dude might beat up on a black dude, and all his people is coming back and it's black on versus white. I've been hearing about this since high school. So to me, it didn't. I was happy that they was looking out for my mans and everything. But I was like, yo, this really been going on for a while now, from what I've been hearing. And this go back to high school where, sometimes it's group versus group, and you got to look after your own people sometimes. So, to answer the question, I do think that was some form of unity. I do think that was some like a form of looking after our people. But the thing is, how are we going to use this? Because it's on a national scale now. How are we going to use this to advance and start doing this in other areas that's nonviolent? Mm-hmm. Black supporting black businesses, looking out for one another, things like that. I want to see where it's going to continue to grow from there.
Yeah, like Trey said on But I think the reason why violence, like, it's where we tend to like come together. Like Trey said, it's that anger, bro. Like that's our natural first emotion, bro. I think it was an episode we did last summer in the park when all y'all was here. But I remember we were debating that, and it's like that anger, like they was people was in wish a nigga would mode. Like that was a nigga moment. It was some white people involved, but that was a nigga moment by definition. You
No,
know, it could have been easily absolved. All they had to do was move out the way because these particular group of people feel like y'all can't tell us what to do. We were here first. Like that's a lie too, because y'all weren't here first in any aspect of life. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I say it was black unity. It's sad that violence is where we have to come together, but if they want to fuck around and find out, shit, find out, man. Shit.
G, your perception.
Shout out to. I mean, I think it's a mix of both. Yeah, it's unity. I saw unity, but I always think it's a I'm just upset. I'm not upset. I'm just not really shocked. There's usually always some kind of violence unity that black people come together with. Like Paul said, come in unity with something positive, black businesses or doing better in the community, teaching our women better, teaching our kids better. There's no unity in that. But when it comes to unity of beating a white man, it's like a lot of unity. It's that's just how it's usually how it is. That's the only unity I ever see when black people come together. There's no unity when black niggas killing black niggas. There ain't no unity there. Just let it go. Nobody help out then, but it's just. But it was some sort of unity. I'm glad to see some kind of unity, even if it is violence. I mean, hey, if that's true. That's the only piece of unity I can get with these Negroes is something. Like, gosh. So, yeah, that's my view on it.
All right, my turn. Of course, it was black unity. Now, it was absolutely black unity because of the because of the emphasis of everybody. It is not. It was more so unity, uh, because it wasn't just a means of violence. It was us as a reaction. We weren't trying to cause any type of violence or any type of harm. This goes back. I've been listening to our podcast. I listen to our podcast a lot, and it goes back to the episode of Unconditional Love where we were speaking about the difference between Martin and Malcolm, and the emphasis was Malcolm just was like, "Let's fight." This is the emphasis where he was talking about when he was talking about fighting. Like, we're not going to turn the other cheek no more. Like, we're not gonna like let you beat up on us and then like try to talk to you about it. No, you must know that there are repercussions to face. And I think it was a clear I loved it because so many people were willing to jump in to dismantle and correct the situation. I mean, you look at us, this is what it goes back to the promotion. Okay, so we don't see unity in other areas, but it was a post where 19 black families buys 97 acres of land in Georgia to build their own city. But where's the widespread distribution of that? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's black unity. I love it.
True.
You know what I mean? But where it was on CNN, but where is the widespread coverage? Where's the memes? Where is everybody being able to get this information? Nobody knows about it besides those people. And maybe if you come across this post that got a few hundred likes versus, this viral incident, you know what I mean? So of course it was black unity, and black unity is happening all across the board. It's just what's being promoted, so we don't see a lot of it. And I was having a discussion with another brother earlier, because if anything, if I'm going to talk about community, I'm in the community that I'm talking about. So I'm definitely going to like plug in. When we black, those who start a business and their marketing is black-owned business for people to buy black, then that business needs to also be revolving that and funneling those funds back into black as well. Most of the people who use that to get a leg up use that to sit back on the very people who put them in place by going to the Gucci's and the Christian Dior's and stuff like that. But That's just a mentality of what was the phrase? Said some black people think white ice is colder. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I saw for this was a clear visualization of unity. I label it as Black unity because it was Black people who jumped in, but it was also more Black because I've also seen where some news press was trying to label the Black people as violent for reacting in the way that they did, but they wasn't highlighting uh they wasn't highlighting the violence that caused. It was a cause and effect situation, and we're not looking at those who caused it versus the effect that they and most of the people that was involved in it are on social media speaking out like, yeah, we got our ass we found out, we fucked around and found out, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was a blatant display of unity to me. And yes, it was in a violent sense, but it wasn't violent to me. I think it was vital. I think it was vital. And it's just one aspect and one area. I agree that we still need more unity all across the board with communities. And like, shout out to these 19 Black families that buys 97 acres of land in Georgia. Like, shout out to them. You know what I mean? That's a move that I'm sure we all could agree on, that we are trying to make. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want, like, we talking about this, like, these are moves. That is progress. You know what I'm saying? Like, and plans and development, man. Yeah, that was Black unity.
Shout out to John. Yeah, hey, but to your point, Trey, that was like, when you asked the question the other day, if we wanted to talk about it, I was like, that was kind of my hesitation. I'm like, I know how it's gonna be perceived. Like, it's gonna be perceived like the Black people, because we won. We were the aggressors and everything.
Yeah,
and feel like that, you know. And I don't know. I enjoyed the video. It was kind of entertaining, bro. My favorite part that they don't show was like a little side view where it's the young boys pulling up and you see the dude skipping. You know how we used to, it's about to be a brawl. They start skipping. They had the little Avengers Endgame meme where they were coming through the rings like from Doctor Strange. Like coming out of everywhere. And that's when it really got ugly. That was my favorite part of that.
Yeah. Hey, that was crazy.
Yeah.
And y'all saw the one about Aquaman?
Aquaman. Hey, they said they were like it was a Boondocks quote. I'm like, if y'all make a Black dude swim to go to a fight, it's like, what they do to make them niggas that mad?
but to go back to like Trey point, I think this event, and comparing what Trey was talking about the 19 families with the buying the acres of land, it showed what mainstream media is trying to promote, and it also showed what we focus more on, which is the violence. And I'm not saying like violence isn't necessary. You know what I'm saying? You got to defend yourself. You got to stand up for what you believe in. You got to meet the opposition if you got to. But when people are doing things like that, like the acres and stuff like that, I heard about the fighting before it even hit television. You know what I'm saying? Like, I seen people reposting it like crazy. But when we need to get in the habit of not just promoting that, but like you say, the things with the families, repost that. Let people see, oh, if we come together, we can buy land. You know what I'm saying? We can start changing up group economics. We can start a Black Wall Street. Oh, man, hold up, time out, too. Shout out to my boy, Jaylen Brown, who got the largest contract in NBA history. And he started talking about trying to promote a Black Wall Street up in Boston, man. Shout out to him, yo, because when I heard about that, I was like, see, that's what we talking about right there. And I feel like we on the cusp of a movement where you see, hey, fuck around and find out, but also, yo, we making moves to improve our areas. You know what I'm saying? We're not just going to let y'all just be buying up all the land and we missing out. You know what I'm saying? We making moves too. We trying to we want to set our families up for generational wealth, generational success. We want to start taking this information and start passing it down to our friends and family so they got opportunities that they didn't even know existed that other communities are aware of. Whether they take advantage of it or not is on them. And not everybody, and also it is a social thing as well, where, you know, it don't matter the race. People that's underprivileged don't know a lot of this information as well, regardless of race. But we talking about trying to help the communities that we in learn this information and get a better foot up. And that's what we talking about, trying to work together. So when I see the, you know, us come together to you know, to help a brother out when it's when he getting beat up, we should come together and help a brother out when he, you know, he might not be doing as well financially, and give, not just give him money, but give him opportunity to be able to provide and take care of himself, so he can feel good about himself. And then you just keep passing that around. So I think that's the avenue that we should take, this energy that we feel about, you know, everything that happened down in Alabama, but also take that same energy and shift it towards helping out our brothers in the community as well. Stop senselessly killing one another, beating up each other for no reason. Like, yo, like, stop beating let's stop beating us up. You know what I'm saying? Let's start working together. Let's start building. Let's start making moves and elevating. And that's the energy I want to take from what happened in Alabama, and then use that in all these other communities to help build our communities and look after one another the same way they looked after that brother out there as well too.
So what is going to take, because we all know what happened with Black Wall Street, and there was no consequences to them demolishing or destroying an entire Black community. And you know, we could talk about the side effects of that all day, but what is it going to take for that to happen again and for it to flourish?
I think the difference that what happened now is we already integrated. We already see what life is like living with other communities now. Whereas before we was forced, and they took down Black Wall Street and implemented integration as well too, to kind of take our mind off of, you know, building up our own. Like, yo, you come and build up this other system, a system that was already built for another class or group of people. So now we've been experiencing that since the 60s. Now if we build something on our own, it's our choice. We didn't have to do it out of necessity this time. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff we was doing, we were just trying to survive. We had to come together. Now this time is by choice. And I think if we can work when we work together, I ain't gonna say if, when we start working together and start understanding about not just buying Black, but also doing good business with one another. Don't just buy Black with me because I'm Black. Buy Black with me because I do good business as well. Because it's a two-way street. People not gonna keep buying Black if you ain't holding up your little bargain by providing good customer service and looking out for the people that supporting you. So I think when we get those things to come together and we see it's mutually beneficial, I think Black Wall Street could and will flourish, because now it's a choice. We doing this by choice, not because we was forced to do it now. And we also seen the other side of the coin as well too. So that's what my thoughts is on it.
I think Black Wall Street could flourish right now. It has a better chance, especially because back then we were living in different times. Like Paul just said, oh, there go West right there. And cut the locks off, man. But I think we can. I think Jaylen Brown need to get traded to Atlanta Hawks. I don't think Boston is the place to start. But I think it definitely can flourish. Like all they can do now to try to stop us is with legislation and paperwork. They can't really just come out and murder us. But who knows? Who knows? Shit.
We know. I want G's emphasis before we let Mr. West come on. What would it take to flourish now?
Let West, because he ain't even talk at all yet, man. It's cool. He can give his own perspective on it real quick. I already gave mine a little bit. I'll be rude to, I guess.
Peace, fam. Y'all know my perspective on it. I won't really come on to talk on this particular subject, but I'll leave it on this. This is an opportunity for us to understand the importance of training ourselves, especially as Black men. We need to be actively working to get healthier. We need to be actively working to learn how to combat. We need to actively know how to protect ourselves and women as well, because this is another opportunity for us to be taken advantage of down the road. We celebrate this, and this is great. It's a great win. But when we talk about a battle, that's just a part of the war. And like I've talked about before in this podcast, we are at war whether we know it or not. It's attack on the food, it's attack on the education, it's an attack on everything when it talks about Black men and Black women in the Black community, which is something that's very passionate for me. So I'm not going to really get emotional on it, but we need to be able to not just celebrate, but we need to think, because just like these individuals, they're emotional. It's people watching this that get enraged when they see, us getting together, because the whole plan is for us to be divided. I talked about that before as well, that division is the key to this whole so-called white supremacy thing. Like we talk about that, and people use it as a conspiracy thing, but there's videos, I've been watching on, I don't really get on TikTok too much, but when I do, you see where people in different countries, they believe and stick together as they're Caucasian. They are all believe that they're the same regardless of what country they're on. But when you come to America, we got all types of labels for the same type of people. They go by different shades, or we light skin, I'm dark skin, or I'm mulatto, I'm this, I'm that, when in all actuality, you all are Black. So I just leave it at that. Like, we need to be taking this as an opportunity to learn, not just celebrate, but we need to also think and plan for what's coming behind this, because there's going to be retaliation. You know what I mean? There's going to be people that see this and say there's a reason why when they see somebody else do something like this, they're going to be ready with gunfire. It ain't going to be a battle of fists. It's going to be bigger than that. And when you think about Black people, we got the lowest quality of guns. So guns is not going to be the one that's going to do it. So we need to be able to understand how to protect ourselves, protect our children, protect our women specifically, because without the women, we don't have any men anyway. But at the end of the day, that's just where I leave it on. Like I said, it was great to see, but it's something to applaud, but at the same time, we need to make sure we use our brain and be cognizant of what we're dealing with here.
Love it.
We'll be coming in with the Eminem 8 Mile lyrics, man. Motherfucker be spinning, man.
So what would it take to flourish, G?
It would take what's the question? I'm sorry.
So we leading back to Black Wall Street. What would it take to flourish in this day and age? Because it's always a question up in the air of what was the destruction. Of course, obviously, it was attacked and stuff, but Black Wall Street and Tulsa, Oklahoma wasn't the only two Black communities that we had. And a lot of people don't know about the black communities that we do have now. I know it's slim and few, but there's one in South Carolina. But what would it take to establish something like that again? And what would it take for it to flourish? What do we need?
I think, man, a few easy steps. Us to find God and get God again, and figure out what's right and wrong. Understand the importance of family. Those are the main things. It's plain, cut, and simple.
So for me, what would it take for it to establish is a communal mindset. We do start in the house. So yeah, getting right with God, getting right with your ancestors, getting right with your mentality, and get your family straight. And by family straight is by having those morals, principles, and set. Like, even though we was back then, we had a common enemy, so we had to be together. We had to tell each other, like, when a white person is around, this is how you act, or we don't want to be the image of what they say, so we're going to portray it differently. No, you are going to be, even if it ain't the best clothing, you're still going to tuck your shirt, you're still going to wear a tie, you still got dress shoes, you're still going to be clean, you're going to take care of other people as if they were family. But how do you know how to treat other people as if they were family if the family is not together? So yeah, it do start in the home, but it has to branch out into a communal mentality, and you got to have that communal mentality. It doesn't stop just with you. It doesn't stop just in your house. We got to be willing to take care of all of our houses, and then that will become a community. And with that, from love comes protection and development. So then you'll look at the essentials. I think Mr. Utley had told us is you need a hospital, you need a bank, you need a source
Grocery.
of food, yeah, grocery, uh,
Schools.
schools, so education, and then defense. You know what I mean? Because because it's going a blitz will come. You know what I'm saying? You can't let them all get across the line though. So all of that together is what's going to make it strong, and it's going to make it flourish. I love that.
That's what's up, man. This was a good topic, man. I think G, we got one more video, right?
Yeah, we got one more.
All right. So while G loading up that video, any final comments, thoughts on the situation in Alabama? I do want to say the best meme I saw was a shirt that read "Lift every chair and sing." You know what I'm saying? I thought that was hilarious, man. But anybody
Yeah.
got any final thoughts or anything they want to end on as far as that far as everything that happened in Alabama?
I love it, man. I love the emphasis of unity because it showed that we're not just sitting back. I don't like the saying "we ain't our ancestors." I think the youngest need to get rid of that saying because that is implying that our ancestors was weak and did just sit back, because you wouldn't be where you are right now if it wasn't for them. So shout out to everyone who came before these generations and generations before, who was willing to fight, that gave us the opportunities that we have today. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think Wes hit on. I think a couple of y'all hit on it. Like, it was good to see us coming together, even though it was violence. But let's build on this momentum. Let's take that energy and shift it into something more positive, so we can uplift each other and just move forward and get better as a community.
Facts.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
If I
Absolutely.
can if I can camelback, I'm gonna get away from that pig. You gotta get away from that pig, man. Piggyback is some more. We veggie back and we can horse back, we can dolphin back, we can do all types of things, but that piggy gotta go. But I think the other thing I want to touch on as well is that this was a small glimpse of unity. But when you look at all of the footage that you've seen, majority of that footage was still our people recording it and talking about it. You hear a lot of the chatter in the background. That should also be spoken on as well, that we have to get out of this mentality of recording everything that we see, because once you start documenting this, you now make yourself a target.
Yeah.
You make yourself a part of attack, in a sense, because now that footage can be sanctioned in court, you know what I mean, or summoned in court. So you're putting yourself in a predicament where you also are helping the enemy as well, because you're giving too much evidence. And we got to get out of just telling all of our business. That's one thing I'm working on as well. I mean, we get on these platforms, until we have our own platform, we can't keep telling what we're gonna do next. And more we keep telling the enemy and telling the so-called white man that what we're gonna do next and what we feel about this and feel about that, you're just creating a situation where they're gonna be a one leg up on you, because most of us don't think 10 steps ahead. We just think about what we see in front of us. So we just gotta be able to stop being so quick to show everybody what happened and reporting it to everybody, which is the importance why we do need our own platform, so that we can freely speak about what we want to without having to be worried about who's listening. We don't know who's in the live. We don't know who's watching. You know what I mean? You got to think about, Malcolm X and Martin Luther King and all they, they were agents in there. You feel what I'm saying? They
Right.
came in the name of being a part of the nation, or they came in the name of supporting Martin Luther King, but in all actuality, they work for the FBI. So we just can't just keep volunteering and thinking that everybody is on the same agenda. We speak about unity, but unity is different from uniformity. Everybody doesn't have to do the same thing, but if we don't have like minds, if we're not on the same agenda, then you're on someone else's agenda. So we just don't want to keep, just telling what the next plan. Oh, I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna go do that. Okay, well, now there's going to be somebody waiting on you to go do that so they can go incriminate you. You feel what I'm saying? Because not everybody understands what Black unity is.
And just a tip. If you wanted to, hell, stop. If you wanted to use, the reverse of what Wes just said, if you wanted to use like a video for evidence or something, and say, for instance, you didn't have permission, even though Wes just told me not to give out this information. No man. I'll text it to y'all.
Yeah, but it's a cliffhanger now. You gotta say something.
Yeah.
Might well go ahead and throw it on out now, Trey.
Go ahead.
So you can't use the original file, but say for instance you was the screenshot or screen record. That is now your personal file, so you can use that instead of using somebody else's. That's their storage. That's their data. No, now you're making it yours. So if you did need some type of evidence and it was something of that sort, you can screenshot, screen record, and use that stuff in court.
Got you. Appreciate that. Helpful tip, Trey.
Officer.
Community, man.
Look, so we got so G got the video up and loaded. Hey, go ahead and start it on up when you ready, G.
So this video, before we get into the discussion, we're going to be talking about the myths of money. There's myths of money, that falsehoods that we've been told and shown and repeatedly. When we talk about breaking generational curses and stuff, one of the things is a impoverished mentality. Well, let's not think like poverty anymore and start thinking of abundance and wealth. So we're gonna watch these videos to start breaking down the myths of money.
I turned myself from no money to my first $1 million in 2 years to $30 million 3 years later. That's
how
fast you can make money if you're about money. If you're about.
What do you say?
The video breaking up.
Right? So I've never believed in patience. You gotta forget the patience. You gotta forget the people who aren't about money around you. It's gotta be all you think about, all you talk about. You gotta start producing. You gotta start attracting attention one way or another. And if you do, all those things, you will.
I'm gonna start all over, man. Yeah, I know, man. I got the dial up right now.
I'd be the cut the wire. I would have unplugged the router on their ass and plugged it back up.
Got the AOL.
I can hear them. They playing Fortnite, man. They playing. They let that jump, man. Forgive me, audience, man. Listen, I don't care what y'all say. I'm just telling y'all what's happening. We're gonna try it again one more time, man.
I turned myself from no money to my first $1 million in 2 years to $30 million 3 years later. That's how fast you can make money if you're about money. If you're about it, right? So I've never.
I don't believe in ADHD.
You gotta forget the patience. You gotta forget the people who aren't about money around you.
Yeah, we gonna
might skip.
Yeah, we gonna. Yeah. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get that joint off, fella.
But
do y'all know what you talked about or trying to say? We can just talk about it. You know?
Right. We can just go off of that.
What point was Andrew Tate trying to make in that video, G? Do you know?
Yeah.
Niggas.
Great nigga.
Anybody else seen the video?
I've seen it. Yeah, I brought it forward. What he was saying that is one of the myths. That as we had several videos, but one of the myths that he was talking about, or he was getting at on that video specifically, was that you got to be patient and it takes a long time to make a lot of money. right? That is a myth. That's a falsehood. It doesn't actually take a long time to make a lot of money. It's how you think and how big you think. You know what I'm saying? So that's the first one of the myths of money. But before I go down the list, I want to know, like, each one of y'all share what's like a falsehood of money that you had to relearn or learned more or learned better, reprogram or something.
Such thing as being broke. That's just a
Ooh.
mindset. Being broke is just a mindset, man. You could it, and it kind of go in line with what you was talking about, Trey. Far as how long it take to make money. Broke is a mindset. What they say, I'm overcoming financial adversity right now. is another way to put it. Where how you talk to yourself, how you motivate yourself, is a really big thing, man. And if you think you broke, then more likely you probably will stay broke. And that's the thing where people don't understand with the lottery winners. So many lottery winners win millions and millions of dollars, but they have a broke mindset or a poverty mindset that you blow through all of that money. You blow through all that money. And a lot of times they probably don't even think they really deserve the money. And so you end up going back. It was a book I read. I want to say, I can't remember the name of the book, but it talks, I think it's Think and Grow Rich. Shout out Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow, shout out Wes and everything with that too. But he said that everybody has a visualization of how much money they feel like they're worth. And they always operate within that realm. So if you feel like you're worth $50,000, if you're at $20,000 or $30,000, you work harder to get to that 50. But then anything over 50, if you going like $60,000, $70,000, you start relaxing and slacking up, and you end up going back down to your 50. So everybody has this range that they feel like they're worth, that they operate within. And the goal is to break out of that broke or, that limited thought about where you are now and figure out, this is where I want to be and this is what I need to do to get there. So I think one of the myths of money is that there's such thing as being broke. There's no such thing as being broke unless you believe it in your mind, because you can always go out here and make money and you're no longer broke anymore. So that's one of my myths about money.
Should have brought the notepad to this one. All right, next up, next myth of money. What y'all got?
I'm just keep it simple and something we talked about before, but thinking you can do it by yourself. Like most millionaires, billionaires, they got like Andrew Tate just said, they got people around them. People with the same mindset. So think about it, like with the 19 families, you take 19 families, which is like at least 38. You all right, Trey? At least 38. At least 38 plus people come together with good credit scores and whatnot. That's a quick way to put some money together and start making some money. 19 acres of land. You know how many homes you can buy on that? Yeah, you just can't do it by yourself. That's what I'm kind of in right now. I'm just looking for some like-minded people, man, make some money.
Make some money.
That's a good one. That was a good one.
Yeah. Next up, myth of money. What's the next one?
It's true.
I'll go ahead. Oh, you going? Oh, my bad, G.
I'm short and sweet, man. I ain't gonna take too long, man. It's
better talk to them people, man.
It's facts once you unplug. Andrew Tate turned my mind when he said that one line. He said it a few times. He was like, he said money isn't real, and when he said that, I was like, money is real. But when he started to talk about, he said money isn't real. It's just numbers on a keyboard. It's numbers on a screen. It's number on your phone. It's number on any bank screens. So when you get that out of your mind, it's like, go, you right. And then once I started to get into the stock market and started seeing so many numbers fly in a matter of seconds. In seconds, you can go from $2, and then a few seconds later, you be able to make $3,000. And it's like, money, hold on, man. Off of a certain click or a certain news or a certain reaction to the charts on there. And it's like, go, money is made that quick. And understand that was one of the reasons why he got so wealthy, is because he got into the stock market and understanding Bitcoin and understanding things like that. that the small it used to be always if you had calluses on your hand, you worked 12 hours a day, you was making a whole bunch of money. It's not like that now. It's nothing like that now. So once
Andrew,
you start flowing with the times and understanding how this money is really flowing, I mean,
yeah.
that's why I'm quiet, man. It's about to be
Hard
crazy.
work doesn't pay off. Huh?
Yeah, it's gonna be
Andrew was
it's gonna
tripping them
be a
hoes
whole
too.
lot. I just be quiet about it, but things gonna be crazy.
What'd you say, Keith?
I said Andrew Tate was tricking them hoes too.
Yeah, that's how he started. That's how he started. Sell some pussy, sell some dick. What you got, Wes?
I'll say this, that well, I guess kind of to veggie back on what G said. Time, exchanging time for money is a myth, and we shouldn't be exchanging our time for money, because time is priceless and is the most precious commodity that we have.
Yes.
But also not believing that you have to also get into debt. You actually don't need money to make money. You need your brain to make money. If you use your mind and use your skill sets that you've acquired, you can make money from nothing. You know what I mean? So-called nothing. I'm not gonna say nothing because you are doing something, but
right.
You can use your mind, intellectual property, especially now in 2023. You don't need all of the so-called tools that everyone else uses. You can just make money literally from just your brain. Just come up with an idea, like Keys was saying as well. Get with some like-minded individuals, and you can make money come out of anywhere. It's just, are you willing to put forth the effort? Not necessarily put the time in, even though you do have to do that, but you're using your time wisely, but using your mind even more. So smart moves, and not just time-consuming moves.
Yes, indeed, man. Y'all preaching, man. Myths of money, bro. It's a few things that I had to. It's a few myths of money that I've discovered. One, money has no age. There's no age requirement for you to start making money. So you can make money as early as single digits. And had I been taught that or told that, then I would have been more money conscious moving forward. I was trying to get an allowance, but we wasn't fully on that wave. I get allowance sometimes, or I'll get, you get AB honor roll, you get whatever amount for each A or B. Like, all right, cool. So I'll get, what's that, every semester, every quarter? Every quarter I can look at getting some type of money. You know what I'm saying? They gotta last me the next 3 months. You know what I mean? It wasn't until I got that drive that I was like 13, and me and my cousin really the one who broke that shell. But shout out to him, because he was a single child and he didn't come from a impoverished area, so he already was money conscious. He wasn't thinking of like what I don't have. What I want. You know what I mean? What can we do to make this happen? Shoot, man, we ended up doing a car wash. We ended up doing, and I'm talking about, we had a plan, operation, posters, management. We did it. You know what I mean? Made some money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All that type of stuff, man, to the point where not gonna give too much, but we just started doing things. Like, you can make money. That's another myth of money, bro. You can make money doing anything. You can sell anything. It's about value. Money is a means of value. Money, like G was saying, money is not real. Money was created as a basis of value that could be easily traded. Like, okay, so this number specifies the required amount of value to this product or service. Like, it's the value. So if you find somebody that values whatever it is that you can provide, you provide that, and how well you provide that, how much you provide that, is how much value that they're getting, the more they'll be willing to pay you. Myths of money. So money does not have an age limit. Going back to the job, I said it before and I say it again. Hard work does not pay off in a job setting, because clarifying, in a job setting. because you're getting paid for your time. Okay. I cringe at salary because that is like a here's this lump sum that we're going to pay you, but you're going to like, you're mine for this lump sum. uh, I like hourly because, like, well, if I was here 6 hours longer this week, then I'm likely to get overtime. Salary, you ain't looking at no overtime and stuff. You required.
You can work 12 or you can work 60. That's what you're getting.
Right.
Yep.
Going back to trading your time. So hard work does not pay off. And I started to put that together because somebody else who is slacking, who is lazy, if they clocked in, they're still getting paid the same amount as the person who busting their ass. You know what I mean? And then they're going to look at it like, well, this ain't fair. So now they're going to want to slack off because it's harder to get somebody to do more work. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's a trickle effect, man. And I don't want that to affect anybody's work ethic. You just need to work hard in the right areas that will actually benefit you. Don't think that a job is paying you because of your work ethic. That is a falsehood. They're paying you for your time. They're paying you for your time. And once you realize that, then you'll start investing your time wisely. It's an investment. So that's a myth of money. Another myth of money that I came across is no credit is good credit.
No. That ain't it.
No credit is good credit. That is a falsehood. Push the button. Push the button. You know what I mean? No, sir. Good credit is good credit. Okay.
I get what you're
There you go.
You got them homies that like to say, nah, I do everything straight cash. Like,
yeah,
when bricks take off and cash is pretty much useless, you just got a bunch of paper you can write on and shit. You know? No, I think establishing good credit, one, it makes you want to get into those good money habits. It shows the people if you want to borrow money or leverage other people's money. Credit is a good way to show that. That's your social proof that, hey, I'm pretty decent with money.
There you go. Credit is credibility.
Trust me. Credibility. It's not credit. Credibility.
Real quick, I want to say something about that credit thing. I just had a discussion with somebody yesterday. And if anybody, I'm the finance guy. If you need help with life insurance, investments, anything like that, hit me up. So I'm not going to go deep into the conversation about that. But the credit is important for people that needs to build money. Once you got money, you can start leveraging your own money instead. You know what I'm saying? So using credit to get to where you need to go, where you can start leveraging money to these banks and everything, instead of having to just go off of credit. And that's what Elon Musk, he does that. He leverages his own money or shares of his company instead of just like, I want to get this. And when you can leverage money, now I'm only speaking to
high earners,
select people. You know what I'm saying? But the goal is to get to that level so then you can start leveraging your money, because now you're getting different interest rates than other people get that's just leveraging credit and things like that. So and you got to create the habits, because it's so easy for people to use credit and one thing mess up. And now you find yourself in a hole that you just trying to figure your way to get out of.
Yeah.
So like you said, a good credit is good credit. No credit is not good credit. But for the majority of us that need credit, you want to keep your credit good, but you want to manage it the right way.
There you go.
And make sure you got an emergency. Make sure you got an emergency set aside where if something was to happen, you can go grab that instead of you trying to figure out how to dig yourself out that hole, and all that work you put into getting good credit turn to bad credit for you.
Yeah.
So that's just something you want to be aware of as well too.
Love it.
Can I
Anybody
build
else
on
got
that
any
as
more?
well?
Come on, come
Yeah,
on.
let me build on that credit thing as well, because especially in our community, I speak on the fact of the Black community. We are the most in debt, and we have the less quality of items, that are assets in debt. So we may get into a lot of debt, but we end up buying $80,000 homes, where you have other communities who are going to use their credit to get the most or the best assets in order to leverage. And then I want to also speak on the myth of FHA loans are good. FHA loans are not good. The lower
Talk to him.
the
Talk to him,
least
Wes.
amount that you're putting on your house, the higher chance that you're going to default on your house. So like I work on foreclosures and helping people understand home ownership, that is not just about buying houses. It's about understanding the investment that you're making, because we're talking about investments. A mortgage, the basis of that word mortgage is taking you to the moratorium. That's for it's called a life a death note, excuse me, because at this point they plan on you paying that mortgage until you die. So the average mortgage is 30 years. So if you plan on paying a mortgage payment for 30 years, you're ultimately going to be buying that house 2 to 3 times over, and you still don't really own it. So most Black homeowners in the Black community refinance their home 2 to 3 times. So now you've repurchased your home 2 or 3 times after you purchased it. And then on average, most realtors are out of the industry after their first 5 to 6 sales. So you can't go back and get any help from that person. So we have to understand that, yeah, you have credit and it's good to build your credit, but you don't go max it out and go buy a house that really doesn't have any equity. The goal should be to put the most you can down, so you have less that you're paying. And then ultimately, if you do want to leverage, like Paul is saying, you want to leverage your equity. You don't have to necessarily borrow more money or get more loans outside of what you already have. Once you own your house, you can now leverage that asset to do whatever you want to. And then lastly, not putting everything in your name. In
Let's go,
America,
Wes. Talk to him, Wes.
the goal is to have a business. And if
my
you have a
mama.
business, you're able to, at that point, protect yourself. And you can
Yeah.
also leverage even more. You have another quote unquote credit score that you can build upon that isn't attacking you personally. And if anything does go wrong, like Paul is saying, you don't get attacked personally. You still can keep moving forward financially, and you're not stuck with the bill at the end of the day. And banks don't want your house. They want your money. They want the interest. So don't take these high interest credit cards, store credit cards, all of this 18% interest rates and all of that just because the deal was good. Oh, you're going to get 15% off at the counter.
Zero
Don't take that
interest
deal.
for the first 18 months.
Yeah, no. And then you right now as well, just talking about credit as well, that there is no such thing as a quick fix to repairing your credit. Credit repair is a myth as well. There is no way to go fix your credit. Let me go fix my credit tomorrow. That's called credit fraud. So we want to make sure that we're being understanding about what credit is. And I think we've been taking advantage the most when it comes to credit, when it comes to home ownership. I talk about that a lot, that literally Black families have been in the same, we basically are flatlining. When you flatline in the hospital, that means you're dead. So if we are at 44% on home ownership rate, and we've been that for the last 40, 50 years, then that means someone is winning and we're losing. So I'll leave it at that on the credit.
Hey, Wes, question for me and for anybody who might be listening. What does FHA stand for? Because I don't know.
That's the Federal Housing Authority.
Okay. And what do those loans entail? Like, just
So you could put 3.5% down, which is the lowest for the most part. I ain't gonna say it's the lowest. There's some places where you don't have to put anything down, but I think we call like a no doc loan, or you got your no credit loans and things like that, which again, you're setting you up for failure, because if you're not willing to put up 5, 10, 15, ultimately you want to put up 20, 30% down to show that you have that good faith of keeping this debt up. FHA loans require you to have PMI, which is private mortgage insurance. What private mortgage insurance is basically another bill that's built into your mortgage payment to protect the lender when you default. So when you don't pay your mortgage, the bank is going to get paid back, but you're still going to get foreclosed on. So at the end of the day, you lose the house, you've damaged your credit, and the bank is still going to get money. They're going to get money from that loan that you defaulted on, and then they're going to foreclose on your house, resell it, and then make that money back
More
again.
money.
So you're still stuck. And the average foreclosure stays on your credit from 7 to 10 years. So if you think you got, like we talk about credit repair and that being a myth as well, you think that you're going to fix your credit in 3 months when you got a foreclosure on there, then you've definitely already put yourself in the hole times 7 to 10 years. So
Yes.
I talk about being able to pay extra to your principal. Your mortgage payment is the minimum amount that you can pay. You can pay as much as you want on your mortgage, and make sure you specifically say put it to principal so that you can get that. So you're not paying interest on that. Interest is free money to the bank. But FHA loans is a low barrier of entry. You put 3.5% down. They default 10% more than conventional loans. And when I say conventional loans, I'm talking Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, any truly government-backed loan that is commonly used. So that's what most people get. They get a conventional loan when they want to actually have an investment. But most of our community, we say, oh, I can put 3.5% down. Great. I'm gonna take 3,500 and put that on $100,000 house. And then 9 times out of 10, you're going to default that in 3 years. So yeah, FHA loans is a myth. Unless you're going to be able to leverage that. If you don't know what you're doing with home ownership, then stay away from that and save your money and get a real loan.
And think about how much extra interest you pay by only putting 3.5 down. You know what I'm saying? Over the lifespan of that, man. Like, it's wild. And basically what me and what's saying is, we're not saying you should be afraid of credit. You got to manage it the right way. And our issue is, in our community, we do not manage credit the right way, yo. We not making enough as is. So then we out here getting extra credit cards to make up, instead of just cutting down on our expenses. We get another credit card and put ourselves more into debt. Or we get a car that's outside of our budget that we can afford. And so now we're paying interest on a car, and the same game apply to car loans. Like, these people is making a killing off of these cars, man. And they got the trackers. Quick story. They started putting trackers in the cars because I know of somebody who got away with stashing their car at a homeboy house for like 6 years until he was able to pay the car off. They couldn't find the car. He didn't make no payments or nothing. They put trackers in here to find the cars now. So they come up, tow that car, and resell it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like 6 years. I swear, 6 years. That car was over that house. And then, like, one day I went over there. I'm like, yo, what happened to the car? He's like, yeah, he came back. He finally paid it off. So now he driving it back around like it ain't nothing no more. But they smart enough. Yeah, they smart enough. They put the trackers in the cars, and they let you put 0 down or 1% down or whatever, so they get more interest over the lifespan of the car. Then they turn around, if you default on it, come tow it, clean it up, put the little new car smell in it, and resell it again. It's such a crazy flip, man. And we just don't be I don't want to get too deep in it because you know what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to get too deep in it, but
I'll say this just to kind of land on this point, because I know you got some more myths too, Trey. But when we talking about the mortgage as well, when I want to give some practical advice for anybody that's looking to get a house, you should not get a house unless you can truly afford it. And when I say truly afford it, that means your mortgage payment should only be 25% of what you make a month. So that means whatever you make during in 1 week is how much your mortgage payment is. So that means you technically could make 4 payments in 1 month. When you think about paying your mortgage off, if you were to just put $200 extra to your mortgage, you can save yourself 7 to 8 years on that house. So you talking about taking that 30-year mortgage, now I'm making it 22 years. If you put 1,000 down, you can cut it in half. So you talking about taking that 30-year mortgage and making it 15 years. So we want to make sure that because generational wealth is a big thing that people talk about. The easiest way for Black and brown community to be able to make or start generational wealth is passing down a house. The biggest thing that Black and brown communities argue about when someone passes away is who's going to get the house and how we going to sell it. That's the quickest way to throw all your generational wealth away, especially like you saying, Trey, working a job, you thinking that this is my time to go ahead and get a come up, especially if you don't know what you're going to do with the money. The best thing to do is to sit on your house. Real estate has never gone down. It always goes up, whether you have land, whether you have a dwelling on the land, or if you got both. If you got land and a dwelling, it's only going to go up Are you willing to sit on that investment long enough to really get that generational wealth? Or are you just looking for that cash out right now, which that cash we know is going down. The dollar is going down. So you need to have hard assets, true assets that you can actually pass down. And just keeping in mind that your car payment should be 10% of what you make, and your house payment should be 25% of what you make.
Go.
Wait, say that again. Say that again, Wes. Say that again.
Your mortgage payment should be 25% of what you make a month.
And what about a car
payment?
payment?
Car payment 10%.
10%.
Yep, that's the exact same numbers I got too. I've been telling people I didn't never looked up the mortgage payment, so thank you for that, Wes. But I've been telling people, your car payment definitely should be more than 10%, man.
No,
definitely not more. Yeah.
I mean, average car payment is like $700 right now. The average mortgage payment is $1,700 right now.
That's
a month.
crazy.
Yeah,
That's minimum.
Yeah, 25 and 10. That's an all-star NBA player. You winning? So
come on, come on.
No, but Trent, you got some more myths, man. You got some more myths.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
We took that one out of space, didn't we?
I love it, man. This is what it was for. Because we can definitely do a part 2 to this, because I want to bring some more money conscious men in here in the discussion as well. We need more men to speak. That's what this podcast was created for, is men vocalize, be more vocal, man. We need y'all to speak. Your presence is important. And us men, boys, all the males learn from men and really take that into consideration when we're developing and want to be more of the type of men that we want to be. We got to be the example. So don't be afraid to speak, black man. Don't be afraid to speak, young man. Go ahead. This is a safe space for you to be able to speak your piece. So anybody that's out there, money conscious, have any experience, expertise, education, we want y'all to come on and clip that and put that out there. Now, as far as the next myth that I got, the next myth is you have to be rich to start investing. Come on, man. Come on, man. That is a falsehood. How many people actually no, you're gonna get rich by investing. You get
Warren Buffett started with little to nothing, and look at him.
He'd be on them dividends. Like, man,
I love dividends, man.
Man, you could be where you are now and start putting money into this. Not financial advice. Shout out to Paul. It's not financial advice. But you can start with as little as like maybe $10 every check, putting money in a dividend. And just putting the drip on, letting it reinvest. And if you do that for like 20 years, you can be, who knows where you be if you're just doing that consistently. Every paycheck, $10.
Compound.
Compound interest. That's one way to make money from nothing. You know? Yeah.
There you go, man. You don't have to be rich to start investing, and you don't have to start with a super large sum. And a large sum to some is not that much to others. So just start. Just start, man. Just start. Where can I just start, man? You can do it on Cash App. Everybody love Cash App. You can start investing on Cash App, literally. You know what I'm saying?
And just people have mixed feelings about 401ks and everything like that.
Yeah.
But 401ks, that's the easiest way to start investing, for real.
Yeah.
Like you don't even got to even miss the money. You know, the job and everything, take it out before you even get to it. So that's an easy way, if your job offers it, to do that. Or, just like a little IRA easy stuff, man, for your retirement.
I like one thing that Wall Street Trapper said. He was like, if you got $1,000 sitting in a savings account, that money ain't doing nothing for you. I think outside of, if you like saving for that 20% down payment on a home or 10% down payment on the car, I think outside of those two things, your money should be invested. If you ain't saving for a house
or the next
a car,
even if you are saving, put it in the VOO, put it in the VTI, put it in SPY, and you can pull it out when you're ready to, and you let it grow on its own. Like I said, you may have 10%. Put it in there, get another 10% from the market, and then go get your house. You know what I mean? And And we just got to get out of that thing of putting in the savings account. That, you know, that kind of speaks to what you said earlier about we not our ancestors. That was the old law. Get your bank account, put your money in the bank account. No, that really was, you know, a part of the trick. You know what I mean? But we have to be able to be smart. And I have a love-hate relationship with 401ks because on average 401ks don't, you know, they don't really make you money because you lose it when they take your taxes out, especially if you're not 59 and a half or whatever that number is, and they take their 20% out in fees. So anything that you really make in a 401k, you should be leveraging the 401k. Now I do believe in leveraging your 401k as you building it up. Your employer is putting in, matching you, whatever they doing, leverage it, take those, you know, do it. I'm not going to give you no financial advice as well, but, you know, if you want to, you know, I've seen some people do this, where they'll take a loan out from their 401k and put it in the market, and then you just pay yourself back through your pay stub, you know. So, you know, I'm not going to say that you should do it, but I've seen people do it. You know, I know some people that did it, you know, and it works. But you know, I have a love-hate relationship with 401ks, but like with anything when it deals with money, we have to make sure we do our own research, make sure you do the due diligence, make sure that you understand what investment you getting in. Even like, so we talking about the stock market and we throwing out these, you know, ticket symbols, but you still go look it up for yourself, what the VOO is, what is a VTI, what is an index, you know what I mean? Look that stuff up, find out for yourself, and then go decide, you know, because there's no one way. And I think that may be a myth you may have as well, Trey, that there's not one way to make money. You can make money all types of ways, and you can flip your money all types of ways as well. So again, this isn't financial advice, but I hear it works.
Yeah, money like water, man. Money flow like water.
And I want to pick you. What we say? Veggie back. That's what we said.
Yeah, the vegan one.
We veggie back.
Turkey back.
That kind of go back, that 401k what Wes is talking about, and it looked like Keith might have tapped into it too, is what I'm talking about leveraging your own money instead, because most of the time the rates for a loan on a 401k is going to be lower than like a personal rate from anywhere else, because you're leveraging your own money. So it kind of go back into that whole mind frame. And the only thing I want to say is too, I agree with y'all 100%. I'm not the big savings guy, but you do need to have something where if emergency happens, when you got your money tied up in the market, T+2, always remember that. So trade +2 is how long it takes before your money hits your brokerage account after a sale. So so your money doesn't come to you immediately if you sell it. And then also you might got to worry about capital gains tax and things like that when you're taking out the market. So you want to make sure you have a little something where if you got a deal, somebody come up to you like, yo, like, hey, you get a deal of a lifetime. They're like, yo, you got to put 10,000 and you need to get access to it. You want to have something where like a high yield savings, you know, something like that, or just your checking account, you know, like just money you could just go ahead and just get to quickly. You want to make sure you have something like that available just in case for emergencies, or to be able to capitalize on opportunities that might pass you by in return too. So I just want to say that.
Hey Paul, this conversation just tells me we need a lot more money topics. You know,
boom. That's
like thinking about so many different things from this conversation.
Told you, man. Look, we be talking off screen. This is not on screen. What y'all see is a sample. Like when we are serious about what we talk about, and we are actively working on and working towards these things. You see how knowledgeable these brothers are. You know what I mean? I just looked up VTI. You know what I'm saying?
he throwing some heavy hitters at y'all too, you know man. Yo, y'all make sure y'all do your research, y'all.
Wes was talking about ETFs. I was looking at 5 AI ETFs last night to like start investing in. You know?
That's how you move. That's how you
not
move.
Financial advice, man.
Right.
Tech industry, yo. The tech industry, man. You know, that's a whole nother conversation.
Another conversation.
Another to stay on point with the investing. Also, investing don't always mean in the stock market. Sometimes you got to invest in yourself too.
Oh, that's the
you know what I'm saying? Get the classes, the knowledge, the things that you need to get to, so you can feel more comfortable to generate more money on your own as well too. So the investing doesn't always have to be, you know, in the stock market and things like that. Sometimes you got to invest in yourself, that business opportunity that you wanted to do. You know, going to classes and workshops so you get more knowledgeable about certain things. That's another way to invest as well too, is investing in yourself.
Always improving, man. Like, taking advantages. Like, I know so many companies that offer like leadership courses and stuff like that. And like when you go to the next job or you're trying to do better, but you still got the same experience on your resume. So it's like, man, you don't have no qualifications. You've been doing the same thing for 10 years. It's only gonna get you in the same spot. You know what I'm saying? So like there are so many. It was one kid who was like, he got a Harvard education for free. And it's like, how you do that? Well, he looked on Harvard, and Harvard offered a lot of free courses.
Right. When I was applying for schools, like Harvard would have took me like full scholarship if I wanted to go into like education or something. And I said no. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's what's up, bro. Look at you with the glasses. Put the glasses on.
Need to hear that.
My prescription's old as hell. I need to get some new ones.
Hey Trey, if you got any more, let's give the people one more, and then we're gonna go ahead and get ready to wrap on up, man. We had like 9:30.
Yeah, man. To wrap it up is there's a lot of falsehoods about money. Let us know in the comments, what are some more myths about myths of money? What are some other things that you learned about money? And are the myths that are we the myth busters? Did we just bust these myths? Did we just break this down? You know what I mean? Like,
I won't say it. I ain't say it.
Hey, that's the only thing he didn't say in this whole topic.
We almost made the whole show.
That was crazy.
Hey,
it's 5 men on here. You talking about bust, man? Don't.
Hey, look, no. The funny thing, G don't even got his screen on, so it sounds like it came from the heavens. Like, yo, Paul.
Crazy.
And the Lord said, "Paul."
Y'all stupid.
If I can add to this, this is a podcast for men, and I want to, dismiss. I ain't gonna use that word that, I ain't gonna pause moment on this one. I'm gonna dismiss the myth or debunk the myth of that only women can handle your finances. Men, stop thinking that your wife or your significant other or the woman in your life is the one that needs to manage your finances. It is your responsibility to understand how to manage your finances and not being afraid to know how to control the budget in the home. As a man and you're a leader, you need to understand how to control the budgeting and the spending that's going on in your household. And if you don't know what's going on with those bills, you're leaving it up to somebody else. You can't get upset when something's missing or something is not getting right. Y'all should be having conversations and communication about it, but it is your responsibility to be the leader to be able to make those decisions. And I'll speak from experience. I was one who, in my previous relationship, I was one who thought that, I got my wife. I just bring the money, give it to her. I'm going to make sure I got my little bit on the side so I can do what I can do. But I'm going to give the majority to her so she can pay the bills. But then when you need something, you're going to feel less than a man when you got to ask your wife for some money. Or ask, can I get this? I'm gonna get this from the account. She asking you why you need to get this from the account. It's not healthy. So I'll just say that men, stop relying on your wife and relying on your girl and relying on your significant other for handling the finances. You handle the finances. You communicate with her about the finances. You look at the bills yourself so you can understand what's going on, because it's greater when two minds come together than just leaning on her. Even if you're not good at it, it's okay to lean a little bit, but don't just lean. Put an R in there so you can learn from her. Whatever she's good at, learn from her. Whatever you're good at, let her learn from you as well. Don't just hold and hoard all the knowledge and vice versa. But as the man, as the leader in your household, and then if you single, don't sit there and let other people tell you what to do with your money. You do the research. We saying a lot of things, and I'm getting back on that research thing. But as a man, be a leader in your life when it comes to your finances, and stop just thinking that, I'm making money and I can just do what I want to do. Learn how to control your spending, or your spending is going to control you.
Boom, boom.
And fellas, make sure she invests in her money in Target and Amazon, much as she like to shop there.
Because she probably learning it from another man. You know what I mean? She might be learning it from Wall Street Tribe, but she learning from 19 Keys. She learning from this. So do you want her to be learning from other men, or do you want her learning from you? That'd be my thing.
I was gonna bridge it with communication, but you said it. You said communication.
Hey, look, hey man. So hey, I think that was a great way to end this discussion, man. We touched on a lot of stuff today. Man, shout out, yo. See, here we go, Keith.
Y'all
I ain't started.
There we go, Keith. We touched on a lot of topics today.
Good job,
and so, with that being said, man, we want to thank everybody for joining us. Once again, we want to shout out Brother West in the building, man. Y'all make sure y'all go follow him. We'll have all the info and descriptions when this drop. Shout out to our honorary 4th member, Keith. Y'all make sure y'all go follow him. And y'all see these brothers on here all the time, man. We want to thank y'all for joining us once again.
Yeah,
and
man.
we want to
make sure you follow Wes, man. We never shout him out on his YouTube, man. Make sure you go subscribe and follow my boy, man. You got a good channel over there. Make sure y'all subscribe on that one, man.
Hey, go ahead. Tell him the YouTube real quick, Wes.
Yeah, in the comments you'll see I am Mr. West. I'm talking about financial literacy. You know, we really getting on this home ownership thing. This is something I'm very passionate about, is understanding your home, understanding the other side of, once you get those keys, how to keep the keys. If you don't want to keep the keys, how to give the keys away the proper way, not just allowing people to take advantage of you and not allowing yourself to lose this critical key that can help you get generational wealth for yourself and your family. It's all about self-improvement, just like Trey talking about, but from an understanding of how to manage your finances. Budgeting is real. Budgeting is important. We live in a country that has a budget. You know, they may not go by the budget all the time, but they budget, businesses budget, country's budget. You know what I mean? So why aren't you budgeting? So, and I'll say this as well. If you go to my Instagram, I am Mr. West, you'll see the link in my bio. You can get a free budget calculator right now so that you can start learning how to budget. Like I said, men, I want us to be able to learn how to do finances, learning how to manage our money, learning how to manage our spending. And let's get a free budget calculator to get you started. And if you need help, feel free to reach out. 804-221-6226.
And give you the telephone number too. Let's go. Hey, mic drop, yo. So look, hey, with that being said, man, we want to thank everybody for tuning in with us. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And till next time, man, we'll see y'all later. Peace.
Yep.